From Atlanta, Georgia, welcome to Fearfully and Wonderfully Me, a podcast for women on leadership and life skills with Rhea Story. Rhea shares powerful life and leadership principles, helping you maximize your potential and become the woman God created you to be.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode on quotes and thoughts on achievement. I just wanted to do something a little bit different for today's episode. Normally I share with you a couple of principles from one of my books, or we've done a series on women with influence and kind of drilling down into their characteristics. But today I just wanted to do something a little bit different, a little bit out of the mold, and share with you some of my favorite quotes on success and achievement. Because number one, I love quotes. I collect quotes. I have like tons and tons and hundreds of quotes filed away when I read a book or an article or something like that, and I capture a quote that really resonates with me. And then a lot of times I cite those quotes, in my own blogs and books and things like that. So, but I love to collect them because there's such wisdom in quotes. And then I also love to collect them because they're inspiring, and I know that every single one of us need encouragement. Every single day, because we face obstacles. You get up and you might be determined to have a good day, but something bad happens, and then, oh man, challenges that commitment that you made to having a great day or an excellent day. So sometimes quotes just help us get inspired and help us tap back into that decision or that determination to live life with joy and be encouraged. So wanted to share some of my top quotes on achievement with you today. And I'm just going to share, certainly not all of them, but share some of the top ones or some of the more recent ones even. I was reading a fabulous book by Eric Weihenmayer, and if you haven't heard of him, you should know he was one of the people who's actually climbed and summited Mount Everest. But what's unique about Eric is that he did it blind, and really fabulous book. It shared a lot of his story and growing up, and as a teenager, young teenager, starting to lose his sight, and the struggle that was in so many different ways. But he goes on to tell the story of actually summiting Mount Everest, and an incredible story of determination and an achievement in itself. So first couple of quotes today that I wanted to share with you are from him. And there again, just such an inspirational story. When I think of his story, it's so easy for us to kind of start getting into a victim mindset. But when I think of stories like Eric's, I think, what problems do I have really? What challenges have I overcome really? I've never summited Mount Everest, and I certainly haven't done it blind, but I can imagine that there definitely were some challenges. So Erica Weihenmayer says, too many people sit around realizing their limitations when maybe they should be spending more time realizing their potential. And isn't that so true? So much of the time we sit around focusing on our limitations, what we can't do, when maybe we should be spending more time realizing what we can do, what our potential. Because we focus our energy on that, we find that we can be successful. And then Eric goes on to say, people's perceptions of our limitations are more damaging than those limitations themselves. People's perceptions of our limitations are more damaging than those limitations themselves. And so often we let other people's perceptions become our reality. And don't let, I think it's Les Brown, don't let someone else's opinion of you become your reality. Because truly, when we refuse to embrace those limitations, then we find that we can often overcome them. But the minute we own those limitations and grab onto them and claim them as ours is the moment that we release the possibility of ever overcoming them. So some really good quotes there by Eric. And then, just some classic ones that really inspire me or here in my quote collection. Lao Tzu said, "Do the difficult things while they are easy, and do the great things while they are small. A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step." And a lot of times when we have big dreams or big goals, or maybe maybe it's changing careers or getting started writing a book, it's sometimes so difficult just to get started, because that single step is so important, because taking action creates momentum. So some really good wisdom there. Do the difficult things while they're easy, and great while they're small. In other words, don't wait. Don't wait to get started. Start now. Start now. Whatever it is. You don't have to travel the whole journey today. But if you take a few steps every single day, you'll find that journey of 1,000 miles becomes much easier. But you got to get started. You have to take that first single step. I love this one by John Maxwell. Successful and unsuccessful people do not differ substantially in their abilities. They vary in their desires to reach their potential. Right? Successful people and unsuccessful people, they're not really different in what they can do. What's different a lot of times is their desire, their determination. So don't let anyone hold you back. Don't let anyone tell you can't. Beyond something that's actually physically impossible. Don't listen to someone who says no, you couldn't do it, or no, it's too hard. I think I've used the analogy with you before that. Isn't it fortunate that we learned to walk before we learned to listen to other people? I mean, can you imagine a bunch of toddlers sitting around, and Mac and I tell this story from the stage sometimes, a bunch of toddlers sitting around, and they're talking to one another, and they say, well, why would you ever want to get out and walk? Because right now people carry you everywhere you need to go. Or what happens if you get started walking but you can't stop? Or what happens if you fall and get hurt? As young children, we're striving and we're yearning to walk because we see other people walking, and we haven't yet learned to listen to the voices of people around us tell us we can't do something, or that it's going to be hard, or that there might be difficulties. And that's so fortunate, because we need that determination to learn to walk. And a lot of times we fall down, we learn what doesn't work, but eventually we learn to walk. But we don't call it failing to walk. We call it learning to walk. So, don't listen to other people say, no, it's too difficult, or it'll take too long, or not the right time of life. No, just do it. Just do it. As Max says, make it happen. Love this one by Simon Sinek. Short or long term, the clearer we can see what we're setting out to achieve, the more likely we are to achieve it. And that really comes down to that personal vision, right? The clearer we can see where we're going, the easier it is to get there, or the more likely we are to get there. And, we have to be able to articulate, what's our vision of success? What does that look like for us? Rosa Parks said, memories of our lives, our works, and our deeds will continue in others. That really comes down to the legacy we live in people, not the legacy we leave for people, but the legacy we live in other people. I've probably shared with you before, one of my favorite quotes is, I think it's Larry Page, who says, what's your one sentence summary of how you change the world? How do you change the world? Can you say that in one sentence? And that really is the legacy that we leave in others. I love that. So again, just wanted to share some of my favorite quotes on achievement today to inspire you. Until next time.
Start increasing your influence and maximizing your potential with Ria's audiobooks. Available at audible.com, amazon.com, and iBooks. Please visit riastory.com to learn about Ria's books, resources, speaking, and training programs. Thanks for listening.